What's up, everyone? My name is Death. This is my character, Dragon Paler. Just ignore that. But I just kind of want to dive into a Holy Priest 2v2 guide, which is specifically tailored for twos because not a lot of people make Holy Priest 2s guides or even Holy Priest guides at all. So I just kind of wanted to shine light on this class, because this spec is something that has always been underrated. Now it's kind of shining a bit, and yeah, let me dive straight into some of these things. So right here, I kind of have everything I'm going to want to be talking about. I will start instantly with my kind of background. I started getting back into WoW around 2021, so Shadowlands. So I've consistently queued twos, mainly on my Holy Priest since then. Consistently been around above 2200, 2100, with my highest rating being 2407 last season, placing as a top 10 Holy Priest in North America and top 35 Holy Priest globally for the twos bracket. Anyways, let's get straight to it. So besides that, everything will be bookmarked. All timestamps in the description will also be there. You can skip to whatever you want. We will start instantly with races. Races, obviously, you look at murloc.io, great website. That'll also be in the description. You're going to see a lot of undead. Undead is the best just because if you're playing another priest, they fear you, you can instantly will, and you can refear them. Undead is a very high value race for Holy Priest. And as you can see on the screen, the alternative obviously is Night Elf with the meld. Very clean. You can immune CC. It's pretty much like a fade for a race. Now you will notice something here. I am playing Blood Elf. That is because I prefer Blood Elf due to the mana gain. You get around 3 or 4% mana back from Arcane Torrent. I like that, and you can purge. Say you're in a tense situation with a paladin, you're playing against one. You don't really want to spam purge because you're purging everything except their bot for some reason because this game loves you. So then you need to hit Arcane Torrent. On top of getting mana back, you may purge that bop, and it's going to put your team ahead big. Obviously, enough with the Blood Elf propaganda. Let's just get into stats. Stats for twos will be consistently mastery. You will never really find anyone into anything else. I dip a bit into haste because I like my GCD just being a bit quicker. And if you prefer kind of a longer GCD, heavier mastery, you can, but this allows you to get a lot more damage off when you're at chastising and you're hitting your holy fire. Obviously, verse is your second behind that. Crit, don't go into crit at all. I really don't know what I'm gaining crit for. We'll go into gear in a bit. Anyways, continuing on, your mastery, very important. You're going to want all mastery enchants on everything that you can, which is pretty much your rings. Anyways, yeah, so let's go ahead and dive into a bit of the crafted gear and just gearing as a whole. Like, what kind of gear do I want, and how am I going to plan for my 2 set / my 4 set? I crafted jewelry. First off, it's probably the cheapest to make in these first couple weeks. That's what I would suggest to you. Later on, we can maybe recraft some of these other external pieces, but right now you can get 2 rings and your necklace in the first couple weeks of the season. It's pretty solid. I have verse mouse of my rings, and then I dip into haste of my neck, so I get my little GCD. That helps out quite a bit. And then besides that, the current plan for tier is you want to convert your head to tier and your shoulders to tier, your legs to tier, which you will see right here, gives you the mastery, and then your chest to tier, which gives you more mastery. The reason why you don't dip into hands, and why I would also suggest while you can, go do that Sparks quest. At that dude, he gives you the Sparks quest, and you can buy war mode gear, your gloves, because you're not going to be converting that, since gloves this season only give you heavy haste and small crit, no mastery, and you want to run as much mastery as you can. So yeah, head, shoulders, chest, and legs will be your tier set this season for sure. I'm pretty sure that is not going to change no matter what. And then you get your cloak obviously from the new zone. Make sure you dip in to the fiber, which is the mastery fiber. And if you didn't know this, you can actually enchant it at the crafting order person. All you do is you just look up pure energizing fiber in the crafting order, which I will pop up on the screen right now. And yeah, you can be able to import that. I obviously don't have the new one. I don't know why. I'm going to go do that right now, but yeah. Anyways, that's pretty much as I can go into about stats wise. Obviously, everyone knows that part. So now let's get into specs and our talents for twos. This is something big, and it's something that a lot of people run a lot of different things. So just for kind of clarity, this is how my build looks. I'm going to go a lot more in depth, don't worry. I'm just not going to like snapshot it for you guys. We'll dive into the priest tree first. Right now, talents run up on Murloc as of posting this video, but so far, this tree, really the only thing that is kind of controversial is the Angelic Bulwark. You're running everything else here. You can run Phantom Reach. If I'm not running Phantom Reach, I'm probably specking into Double Death. Or over here, Spell Warding, Blessed Recovery. It used to be really good, but Spell Warding is pretty nice against casters. Phantom Reach is pretty solid besides that. Obviously, you need to run Void Shift. Essence of Hour, yeah, it's kind of trolling. It does no healing. Angelic Bulwark, I like, and the reason why I like this as an underdog pick is because the Absorb Shield is huge. It's 15% of your health. We'll get into hero talents later, but this correlates with this talent. Desperate Measures that you can run, and it increases that even more if you find yourself getting nuked. I run Prophet's Will, I'll go on that more later. But yeah, Angelic Bulwark is the one I run. It's kind of your choice. I like to run Light's Inspiration. This goes very well and synergizes with my Desperate Prayer macro. I'll visit later at the end of the video. Besides that, you'll notice everything here. Streamline. A lot of priests run this. You'll see this kind of across all content. You can dip out of MC in different content. I would not in twos for sure. You need to stay MC. It is such a clutch talent. If you don't have it, you're going to find yourself behind when versing other priests. If you're not running MC, at least run Tendrils. Tendrils is good. It's really good for melee. You can root. But yeah. All right. So now let's dip into spec/hero talents. We will go into spec before we go into hero. You will notice pretty much almost the same as every other Holy Priest tree, except for twos. I don't go to a capstone. I do not go Lightwell, and I also do not go Divine Image. Why am I doing that? Is because this season, Epiphany, I feel like is going to be a huge eye-opener for a lot of people. What it does is you have a quarter chance every time that you cast a Holy Ward to reset Palm. The 2-set this season with Oracle is heavily Palm oriented. It heals your target whenever you Palm them. And then later on, you're going to get the Insight Prem, pretty solid. It's just a really good tier set that's going to synergize with Epiphany. Lightwell, it's decent. It does alright healing. Did really good last season. The renew is nice because you really only have one renew with Empowered Renew, which if you don't know, adds a cooldown to your renew, but it does boosted healing like a lot. But besides that, Lightwell, it runs out quick, and if you didn't notice, it actually does cost like a decent amount of mana, so don't really want to hit it. Going over more kind of controversial talents, Divine Image, I wouldn't run that right now. It just doesn't have enough healing output, at least from my testing it. And I just think going heavy into Epiphany, one above that, Say Your Prayers, is another one. Palm has a chance to not consume a charge or jump. So your palms start at 7, and what happens is when it takes damage, it bounces, and it bounces and bounces and bounces until it hits 0 charges. It does more healing the lower charges it is, to my knowledge. I'm not sure on that. I'm pretty sure, but anyways, it just has a chance to not consume a charge when you take damage. So it could stay at 7, bounce, 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 stay at 3, bounce, bounce, bounce. You get what I mean. Like, it's going to do a lot of healing when it gets low stacks. So that's why I like Say Your Prayers. Desperate Measures, for sure. Twos, you are working on a crutch as a healer. It sucks how it is. You kind of are stuck at dampening at 40% as soon as the match begins. So going against these warriors and these high bursty classes that are very prominent right now, just having that 20%, whole 50 healing increase on all your heals at someone below half, it's going to help a lot. And you will see I am spec'd into 1 out of 2 in Prismatic Echoes. I just do this so I can dip into Epiphany, more talent. Your Echo of Light is already doing a lot of healing. It's pretty much your top heal no matter what. Palm will be there soon. I'm going to call that out right now. Palm is going to be there soon with these changes with the tier set. But I just spec into 1 there. Your Renew already does like a ton of healing because of the Empowered Renew. Just dip into 1 in a Prismatic. And now we will switch to kind of damage rotation or damage build. Not really rotation, but like what I run for damage. Obviously, Burning Vehemence. Sorry if I said that wrong. Increase your Holy Fire damage too, so that's completely necessary. You're playing against these Fistweaver monks that crit you for like 2 million. Like, you're going to need some damage. You got to help your arena teammate out somehow. There's all these different classes that have damage now. As a healer, it's kind of necessary that you have at least something you're hitting. You can't spec out of it too. So in my opinion, you just can't do that. If you do, and say you're not finding yourself damaging a lot, that's okay. If you're kind of building up, run Enlightenment. Get a bit of better mana, because right now mana is a bit troublesome due to the recent changes that will be on the screen right here, which pretty much makes it where our Apoth does not reduce our mana cost of our spells completely anymore. It only does it by half as it used to. And Surge of Light, where is that? Where is Surge of Light? No idea. I guess they took it off the tree. But Surge of Light no longer reduces the mana cost of Flash Heal, which is pretty much that proc that makes half Flashlight like that. It makes Flash Heal instant cast, and it used to cost no mana, but now it does. So we are kind of more troubling on mana. And yeah, so Enlightenment, definitely would consider specking into that. Although that is if you don't go into damage build with Burning Vehemence. Top left, Imperial Blaze, 100% need this. What I like to do in games is with the PvP talent I'll explain later, if my partner is bursting, I'm going to use Clairvoyance for this example, but when my partner is bursting, you'll usually have Insight as your first prem. It reduces the cooldown to your next 3 abilities. I will PI my partner. Okay, I do not have a focus. I'll PI my partner. Holy, let's go. All right, we're going. I'm going to PI my partner. I'm going to leap up. I'm going to press Insight, and I'm just going to spam Holy Fires. Has no cooldown, and you will see whenever you hit repeat Holy Fires, it extends the duration. That's why I love Imperial Blaze, is because on the bottom section you can see refreshing Holy Fire on a target now extends their duration of Holy Fire by 7 seconds. It is dispellable. That's a huge thing, but if you're playing with the melee, the odds that their healer is going to want to waste a GC to dispel their partner is kind of low. So you're going to get a lot of ticking damage. You kind of see it ticks 40k like fast, and it'll do it, and it crits pretty big. Some now. That's kind of the dot, so obviously it's not going to be that big, and arena it's going to be a lot bigger. But yeah, definitely run that. And going in depth to Chastise, if you're running with someone who's very reliant on kind of stun setups like a sub-rogue, I feel like that's kind of the opportunity to go the in-cap rather than the Chastise stun route. I still kind of did, but it's just nice to not DR that rogue, especially if you're kind of beginning as a Holy Priest in 2s. DRing is something that is just going to jeopardize your partner, and it's a lot more punishing in 2s than 3s. In my opinion, it kind of is, because the setups in 2s are so strong due to the dampening starting so high that if you mess up a DR, they're automatically like ahead by a mile more than other content that you can kind of potentially bail yourself out of, or have a third or another teammate to kind of help you. All right, that was kind of a lot, but yeah, pretty much that's what I run for my talents. Go into Resonant Wards, self-explanatory. When you cast a Holy Ward, your next Flash Heal hits huge, or your next life. This pairs well with From Darkness Comes Light, another Holy Priest tip. Throw your pains out. From Darkness Comes Light is a talent that makes it where whenever your pains tick, it increases your Flash Heal healing, your next one, up to I think 60%. So this is nice with Resonant Wards, because if you hit a Holy Ward, that just crits for 5-8 milli. I don't even think that crit. Your next Flash Heal is going to hit for quite a bit. It's going to hit for even more than that. I don't know why that was so like little right now, but it's going to hit for more than that. All right, last batch of talents besides PvP ones, which we'll go into after, is hero talents. Archon, no, don't run. 100% in 2s, do not run that. I will go into other forms of content at the end of the video you can skip, and where I like going with the Archon build, but it's not in 2s. Kind of streamlined. I go with a lot of other people go. Miraculous Recovery, just good. Allows you to use your life when people are below 50% instead of 30, and it reduces the cooldown of it. Then you can go double leap. It depends on your playstyle. If you're playing with the melee, and I wouldn't go double leap, I would just go extra speed for feathers so you can get those fears out. But if you're playing with the caster and you need to grip them away, or a DK, this is great into DKs because they will grip you about 17 times a match. So if you're able to LOS, you can buy your partner a lot of time to where, say this is my partner, I'm LOSing, DK pops his burst, I'll leap him, he's still exposed, he actually gets gripped back, I'll just leap him again, and he'll probably have enough bail to get back. Now we go into this one. This is a survivability kind of thing. If you find yourself getting nuked, go Desperate Measures. This is just a lot better. Desperate Prayer and the Angelic Bulwark buff. Bulwark is like a tank for your health bar. It just buffs you up so much when you hit 30% your first time. It's a whole like execute and a half, almost 2 Mortal Strike. It's crazy. Like, this is a very underrated ability, and it allows you to kind of heal yourself up while you still have your absorb up. All right, let's go into PvP talents. Quick thing, Spirit Redeemer, 100% no-brainer. You need to run Spirit Redeemer. Only ability besides a Poth, well, no longer a Poth, where your abilities cost no mana. You can't be hit. You read that with Afterlife, you can bind that in your tree, and your Redeemer should last a beefy amount of time. Phase Shift, Greater Fade, need this a lot for just being able to avoid CC. You should be running Phantasm, which makes it where when you fade, it removes all slows. So say I can't reach somebody, and maybe I have a video clip that I'll play if I don't cut this out. Say I can't reach somebody, I can, if I'm slowed, there's an Earthbind, I stun the priest over here. There's an Earthbind, I'm slowed, I can fade to get the fear in, and you're already ahead. It's a lot better to waste that fade, use that fade, especially with the short cooldown. Anyways, continuing, just use your fades if you need to remove slows. You need to get a sticky situation where you're out in the open, pillars right here. You can't because you're slow, just use fade. Get around. It's better to be a lot more safer than sorry to where you're getting CC on the open. Obviously, if you're wide in the open, say fade. Don't use it just to kind of like maneuver around. I would just use it for getting in a situation where you need to be able to fear somebody. Now we go to our third flex. This is something that switches a lot. I like Divine Ascension because it's melee dominated in twos mostly. And also running into BMs, you're going to avoid damage from their pets if they go you. They're really only going to have Barbed and Scorpid or whatever to kind of hit you with, which is just their dots or their huge damage. So I just like running Divine Ascension. Your spell range is increased an insane amount. You can reach, like I can reach all the way over here even farther with a pain. So my heal is just going to be even like bigger when I need to leap up in the air. You will not be kicked in the air if you're playing a melee. You will be if you're playing against a ranged. That's when you need to spec out of this. The only other talents and twos that you should consider going, Holy Ward into an undispellable comp. Say you're playing against maybe a rogue and then I don't know, like a resto. That's not really a popular comp right now, but that's just an example. They don't have a dispel. Ward is very nice because you can pretty much ward a cheap, a rake or a maim, something or a clone. It's like another fade kind of, and it can't be dispelled. You're playing against a mage, don't run it. You get spell stolen all the time, and they will just steal it as soon as you pop it. Okay, besides that, dot steal, decent. If you're playing against a mage, it steals their poly. Pretty nice. I will run that then. And it also, when it gets stolen, they can't cast it. And that's for 20 seconds. So it opens a lot of window. It's kind of trolling a double DPS comp if you run it and it's a rogue mage because they can't poly at all. I still wouldn't run it, just run Ascension or Ward. But yeah, double dispel. Pretty cool. Give your Purify 2 charges, obviously. And if you're running against like a heavy root comp where you're running with a melee and they keep getting slowed, rooted, it's nice to kind of throw out a spell and then say, oh, he used a spell. On the other team, they're thinking that about you. They're going to fear him or they're going to do something else. You could just dispel that right after that. Pretty clean. Excluding all that, don't really run any of these. Ray of Hope, twos, and it just doesn't really do that much. And with how high dampening starts at, your Ray is affected like huge. So we're to the point, you feel like you need to pump in so many heals because you don't know their health they're at. And even considering how heavy warriors are, if you use this at low health on one of your allies, they are cooked. They're going to get chopped up. Because if they're at 6%, that warrior is smacking, executes. They ain't doing nothing. But yeah, Catharsis, pretty decent if you see yourself getting trained. It does quite a bit of damage. Mind Games does nothing but run Mind Games. Of course, with talents currently not working, this will all be linked in the description, the code as well for the twos build. Again, everything that I said potentially changes. If there is another build regarding that, I will kind of link it associated with like when you run it. But yeah, that's really it regarding all these talents. So let's get into kind of the final part of the video. Let's kind of go into something that's different for everybody, which is playstyle. Your kind of rotation is a Holy Priest. Palm always needs to be pressed off cooldown, especially in twos. You need to be getting that rolling because you're going to be taking a lot of damage. Even if you're behind a pillar, you can be hit by a dot. And the embellishments, which I kind of forgot to mention, a lot of them just energy redistribution beacon. As long as you're above 80% health, it sends health. A lot of people, if you remember BFA, Vitality Conduit was like that. It was different though, but pretty much it just siphons your health away to your ally to help them. So it's going to be doing damage to you, and I haven't really tested it, but sometimes it might be bugged. It will tick Palm. and that's a way to get your bounces kind of going instantly. But yeah, you want to keep palm up. Renew. Always put on your DPS in the beginning of a game because most likely your DPS is going to be the first one really involved in stuff. I usually start with a renew and a shield. Your shield is weak as holy, remember that, but it's something. And then on top of that, your palm will already give them a shield. So I mean, it's kind of depending. Like you could shield them by the time you already have palm on them as well. So by the time your shield comes back up, just shield yourself, just in case you're playing like a DPS comp or a stealth comp. I mean, first I explained it in the video. You can insight holy fire, and that'll pretty much allow you to burst a lot of damage, especially if your DPS is just going to use everything instantly. Then you might as well pop out and help him because he's not going to really be taking any damage. You run the PI. You should have a PI macro. I'll link macros in the description as well. But you should have a PI macro. Why can I not find this? A PI macro that will PI your partner. And if it does, I don't even think you need one because what is the Sun Priestess? Grants PI to a damage dealer. Besides that, you're really playing around prem a lot. If you need to prem your palms, which just makes your palms instant, no cooldown, you can. That's only later in the game. I would never do that early in the game. Do that later in the game. Besides that, here's the one thing I want to go into. I see a lot of people use Redeemer kind of wrong. You don't really want to use it early, and in my opinion, for full value, you want to use it around the time you're gonna PI, because your hymn, for people who remember Seraphic Crescendo, they used to increase the cast time of hymn, Divine Hymn. If I PI him, it's kind of like that again. Your Divine Hymn it's a lot faster. And in 2s you need that because it heals really slow in 2s. It does not heal that much. And then, these cooldowns... Oh, also, Spirit Redemption, Divine Hymn, align with each other. Never use Divine Hymn out of Spirit. You will get kicked or you will get shut down. Only time you use it, late game, you're behind a pillar, you can't go out, and you really have nothing to do. This should even be off cooldown, so you wouldn't even... you shouldn't even be in that situation. But in case, then you can hit it. You're going to get kicked on it nearly every time if you use it not in Redeemer form. But yeah, we'll go into a little bit mana-wise. Your Fiend reduces mana. It can be killed. Some smart teams will kill it. You'll kind of notice that as you get higher. If you can, I would just put on a pet. If they're playing against pets, put on a pet. If you're playing against healer, which you will be, majority of the time, you put on the healer. They may root it, just shoot him a Dispel. You can shoot him a Dispel. And it'll dispel his root. He gains a lot of mana for you. He's a good little guy, bro. And you should use him as much as you can because combine him with Symbol of Hope, you will gain 16% mana, like near instant, or like 14%. It might be a bit less than that. I may be overreacting, but if your Fiend's hitting him and you cast Symbol, it's gonna give you a lot of mana. Symbol also reduces the cooldown of Desperate Prayer, so that is there. And your teammate's defensive, it reduces the cooldown as well. If I could find it right here, major defensive ability is reduced by 30 seconds. Pretty big deal. And besides that, Chastise, majority of the time you're using it on a healer and you're fearing right after. Right as soon as it ends, so you get max time, not before it, and not right after, so they don't accidentally or CC you in between that window. Just use it as soon as you Chastise. Besides that, if you are about to get a kill in the opener, you can always apoth for a re-Chastise, and you may get a kill. That's a bit greedy, but then you get extra healing time, so it's kind of a decent little window, and it's something that you could just do as a HPriest. This class is very versatile. Remember that your burst healing is a lot more than other healers. I would say Prez maybe competes with you. Where we lack is sustained healing. So just know you kind of have your Bale with Guardian Spirit Serenity or Guardian Spirit Life. And then even Flash Heal when it's gathered up from Darkness Come Light from your pain stacks. It's going to do a lot of healing with GS. That's a 3.5 million normal hit, not even a crit. But yeah, just remember these key things. While we're on it, let's go into Solace. Solace, this talent, Fate Bender, you need to be running. If in 2s, I heavily suggest it because Solace without this, which Fate Bender increases the effects of all your prems, by the way, if you didn't know. Without it, it is like a noodle. You slap a wet noodle on your teammate's face. It's going to be no shield. Usually what I'll do is say my renew's on cooldown, and then even my palm's on cooldown. Don't worry, you can just Solace shield. It'll give them the Solace because it needs to be a direct healing spell. You can apply Solace. You cannot apply Solace through an AoE heal. Anything that's AoE, it will not apply it for. So try to apply it through palm, renew, shield, maybe flash heal if you're desperate or you have the instant. Apply it through those. Clairvoyance, kind of, you won't really, you'll notice it, it's nice, but like you'll just use it when you need to get back your other prems. Of course, it kind of does everything at once, so that also how I know I have my burst. I'll PI, leap in the air, boom, boom, spam holy fires, you get kind of the deal. Let's get into really the last thing, macros. A lot of people use different macros. I'm kind of like I just like playing with basic macros. Really, the only thing I use is included with my add-ons called frame sort. I would recommend it. It makes it where my scroll wheel shifts through my party frames. So when I scroll wheel up, it'll go to me, scroll wheel down, and it'll go to my teammate. Besides that, macro-wise, this is a very nice macro that I use. My Desperate Prayer macro. It'll also be linked, but this is kind of easy to copy. All it does is it casts Desperate Prayer, obviously, but it has this little tick in it. Cancel Aura Desperate Prayer. Also has Healthstone, so that's nice if you're playing with Block. But Cancel Aura Desperate Prayer. If you didn't know, if you are low health, if you pop Desperate Prayer, it increases your health, right? However, that falls off. So why not just press it again, cancel it, and heal flat for that amount? If you don't, it'll fall off and you'll go back to the health that you were at before. So that's what I do. It's a huge heal. It heals you for about 30%. Say I'm at 40% and my teammate's at 20%. They're getting low. I still have swap. I will Desperate Prayer myself back to full health and swap with them. That way they get the huge swap and then I'll go hide and I'll have to heal myself. There's a lot of neat things that you could do with Desperate Prayer to where it's a very nice talent. That is why I combine it with Light's Inspiration and Angelic Bulwark. You have tankiness, at least some, enough to get you by. All right, I will kind of conclude the guide there for pretty much intermediate or kind of people just looking to get more advanced with Holy Priest. So that was it. I appreciate you watching the video. After this, I will kind of explain kind of new players and how to get into Holy Priest and my recommendations for starting out. So this will just be this next chapter. Feel free to skip it, whatever. Thank you for stopping by, and I wish you luck. Continue to prove that Holy Priest is a superior spec. And yeah, all right. So now let's get in. Say you're just getting into Holy. You have a friend to play with. You don't really know kind of what you're doing. I want to go in depth, or not too much in depth, but just realize you don't have to play the meta race. You don't have to play the meta macros or have your UI like anybody else. Tailor it to yourself. This is something that was really important to me, and as you can see, my UI, it's not that, it's pretty big with the bars and all that. It's kind of clunky. I got my damage bar, my healing bar. I just like having stuff where it is. My cooldown tracker on the left. You tailor the UI how you want it to be. I even have a core heat on my bar. I don't know why I have that. I'm not gonna lie. I think that's been there for like 4 years. I just noticed that's there. I really don't know why. But yeah, you can have macros. There's a lot of people. There's really good macro guides, like macros for focus casting Chastise, where you cast Chastise on your focus without targeting them. In my opinion, I just tap target Chastise. I'm quick with that, and it's something that I like. I'm able to do. So it just goes to preference. You don't have to play the meta all the time. I mean, even playing Holy Priest, 60% of the time you're not playing the meta, because Holy Priest is rarely in the meta. Right now, we're really fortunate because it is. But you really don't. You can prove that you can make something work just playing it how you play it, and looking and tailoring your play style to maybe other people that you want to kind of look and get more experience from. Okay, besides that little talk, let's just go into like basic play style. Heal, you're never hitting. This is something that, at least teaching new people from Holy Priest, I do notice that they'll use it. It is a less use of mana, but if you look or just at the healing output, it does way less than Flash Heal. And I mean, at least it costs less mana. It's just not worth it. Arena, it's going to get kicked. For new Holy Priest players too, Shield is a wet noodle. It does not do like any healing. You can kind of use it if you need a bail heal, but try not to use it too much because you will find yourself spending 3% mana on that. It's not that good. Sanctify, this is something that is also overused by some new people that I also see. It costs a lot of mana. You may not notice it, it's 3% and your mana regen is slower. It does cost a chunky amount. So make sure you're using that every now and then. Another playstyle with Holy Priests is you're focused around these Holy Wards. You notice they all have long cooldowns. Like, they're pretty beefy. But how Holy Priest works is when you hit something, it reduces a cooldown similar to that ability. So Palm reduces Serenity, 5 seconds. And then Renew reduces Sanctify's cooldown. Good amount. Apotheosis amplifies this even more. So say I pop everything, I Chastise. Oh, also Holy Fire with Apoth. You can get Chastise really fast back. Simple thing, but you're mostly relying on Palm to build back Serenity. If you need a Flash Heal, you will, which also builds back Serenity. Try not to hard cast Flash Heal though. Try to get those Palm procs out. And then if you're in Angel form, your Sanctify still on cooldown, hit that Renew so it reduces it. But yeah, pop out your Palms and spam those Flash Heals when you're in Spirit. Don't be afraid to because it costs no mana. Yeah, I think the last big tip I would recommend, if you're getting trained, if you die with swap, remember you can use it on other people. It doesn't need to be a failsafe for your partner, it can be a failsafe for you as well. If you're getting low and your partner's at 90, just swap with them. Like, don't be stingy and hold on to it, just use it then. It's a 5-minute cooldown, but it's better than you being alive and having potential to turn the game around rather than just being dead. So just use that. Don't spam your prems. Has no value. It'll go on like a 90-minute cooldown. You spam your prems and you're not going to get any value out of it. Damage wise, whenever your chest is on cooldown, try to build it back. Hit your smite whenever you can. Underrated spell reduces the cooldown to Chastise by 5 seconds or 4 seconds. Holy Fires reduce it. You get Chastised back. Do not DR with your DPS. If they are a rogue, they're going to get very pissed at you because you're chastising a potential kill target and they can't cheap combo because they're DR. Even more beginner, if you don't know what DR is, pretty much you can't hit someone for the same amount of CC as you originally did. If I were to refear them, instead of 7 seconds, it'll be 5, then it'll go to 3, and then it'll go to 0. All right. That's really it. I hope I skimmed through everything. If I didn't, you can feel free to let me know in the comments below. Sorry about the length of the video. I didn't think it was going to be this long, but I kind of want to go in depth because not a lot of people make guides regarding Holy Priest at all, and not a lot of people even at all make 2 specific guides. So if you just have a friend to play with or you just want to push 2s, this is just something for you, and I really hope to help you out. If you have any recommendations or questions, just drop a comment. But yeah, appreciate y'all. Good luck, and I'll see you.